Holy shit, he's early. He's a full minute early. What?
Let's go.
I'm not muted. Don't lie to me. I'm not muted. I got a bar. I got a slider. What's up? Good to see you all. Happy Marketing Monday on a Wednesday. Woo! Got a good one today. Got a good one today. But how are you doing? Before we get into all that, how are we doing? How are you doing? You know, how are things?
Let's go.
Make sure I got everything that I wanted. Yes.
One, two.
Opening this. How is it going? Let's get this in there. Let's get this in there. Just get every tab open. Oh. So there's no tab confusion with wins and fails.
Let's go.
This is a good one. This is a good one. Okay. What's up? Marketing Wednesday, third ever Marketing Wednesday. This is for the first ever. Wait a minute, have I ever done a Marketing Wednesday before? I don't think so. I think I've always decided to skip. If I don't make it by Tuesday, I always skip. But today's different. What is this? Witty whistle looking for 6 months. Make sure all the lights are set up.
From the top, let's go. One, two.
Wait, the music's hella loud. All right, wait, pause that. Who's spamming a Spectacore? Do you guys realize that they just reset the trilogy? It's not a... okay, what's up? I've never had sex, but this is how I expect it to feel. No, it's... No. It's a little different. That's... I'm glad you're excited, but please don't be excited in that way for Marketing Wednesday. Wait, the light's a little bright. Turn it down. Does being withholding give you a sense of power over us? In what way am I being withholding? That's what I want to know. I'm literally not withholding. I'm doing the Marketing Monday. Let me turn this down a little bit. Get it all ready. Just give it a few minutes. Then we jump into the wins and fails. I'm excited. You're withholding these nuts. You guys are on one today. How do you stop these? Hey, NMP White, MP White, thank you for the 5 gifted. Zaku Baby, thank you for the prime. Let me thank some subs here actually before I fucking jump into fucking shark. Especially because I can't read them during or ever. Jakak is bad. Thank you for the 10 months. It's Pedritu. Thank you for the 5 months. I'm drunk and about to play poker with my friends. Big A. Any tips? Yeah. Go all in with 7 deuce offsuit. If you win, flip it over and go, haha, you idiots, get bluffed. If you lose, call them all cheaters, flip the table, and leave. Either way, you'll be talking about you. Chris loves basil. Thank you for the 5 gifted. I just figured out that I like watching gambling way too fucking much, and it's kind of scary for me. I mean, if you like watching it, that's one thing. If you like investing your own money into stake.com and losing millions, that is another thing. That's the problem, because you're not sponsored to play, so you're not getting any money back. Technically, if you count the last Marketing Monday, Big A is 556 hours late. Poggies. And I'm never 600 hours late. And they say that about me. They say Atrioc is never 600 hours late. That would be someone who is not on time. Okay? I hold the line at 556. Napoleone Boney. What a name. Thank you for the prime. Keegsy F Baby. Thank you for the 11 months. How have I never read your sub in 11 months? I would remember the name Keegsy F Baby because it's terrible. What the hell? Thank you for the 4 months. Kid Trinity. Thank you for the 19. Crypto Waffle. Thank you for the 17. What's good? What's good? How's everybody doing? Do you guys have work or school tomorrow? Like Thursday and Friday? Is it an NVIDIA only holiday, or is it an everyone holiday? Like, what is the holiday? It's an NVIDIA only? That's sick. That's fucking awesome. It feels so much sweeter when other people don't have it. You know? Whenever it's exclusive. That's interesting. I guess, yeah, I remember Jensen, the CEO, in an all hands was like, yeah, we're going to have, I don't know, some 2-day rest days coming up or something. I guess this is it. I don't know. I didn't pay much mind to it. National Balloons Holiday. If it was a thing, if it's not a thing, it should be. Atrioc, can you wait 30 seconds to let me get some water? You've spammed that for the last 2 minutes. Go get the fucking water. Piece of shit. All day stream tomorrow. Let's go. No, not all day tomorrow, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday is the Popathon. So be there. Okay? Be there or miss one of the greatest gaming moments in history, where one man, his chimp, and a series of darts shot in crazy different ways ends the balloon menace once and for all. The Popathon. Have you seen the Hassan reaction to your video? Which video? When did Hassan react to my video? He reacted to the inflation vid. Oh, interesting. Cool. Cool. You didn't react to the balloons or no? Any chance he reacted to the balloons? Oh, thank you. There's fish. All right, thank you. Wow, I got dinner. Okay, wait, give me a second. I'm not going to show it, but I'm going to eat it. Bad streamers don't react to balloons? Yeah, I mean, real streamers play it, you know? Why does she not want you to show it? I don't know. She just doesn't like me to show the food, even though I think it's very delicious. I mean, I'm going to show it. Hey-yo! It's a nice dinner. So today, we are doing the long-awaited Marketing Monday on Netflix and the streaming wars, and what the fuck happened with Netflix and their gigantic fucking meltdown. It's pretty interesting. I learned a lot while researching for it, and also had some my own concepts in there. So I think it's going to be fire as fuck. We're also going to do wins and fails before that. Um, compare Airbnb versus Google business prospects, please. TY, is that your fucking homework? What? They're not even in the same industry. Why the fuck are you comparing them unless it's a fuck? What are you? Or are you just trying to pick one to invest in? What are you talking about? No, I'm not gonna do your goddamn homework. Atrioc, did you see my friend Kobe reacted to your balloons video? I don't know how I missed it. I missed your friend Kobe reacted to it. I always check Kobe's stuff day one, but I must have missed his reaction to my balloons video. Yeah, I'll have to check Hassan's thing after, okay? On the radio, thank you for the Prime 50. Trent, thank you for the 4 months. All right, let me eat as much as I can before I start because I won't be able to eat once I start. Otherwise, it'll be half the video me eating. Oh, 1 second. So, if you guys don't know, Evan Gao is auctioning off that poster of my dad that Isto made. And if you guys may have noticed, he's doing it for charity. You guys may have noticed that for most of the day, the top bidder was a guy named Anonymous. That was me. I wanted to buy it so I could burn it. Okay? But unfortunately, the price is now like well over $500. I'm not going to spend fucking $600, $700 to get rid of a poster of my dad. So if you want to spend that much, if you want to spend that much to have a signed poster of my dad, then good on you. Earned. So I just basically price hiked it. Imagine Slime buys it. You can have it, dude. Should be worth thousands. I don't hate charity. I just don't want to spend $700 on a poster. Hedge fund master. What does that? What does that mean? It's like an NFT but real. Let me update my bid. I didn't know you were gonna pitch it like that. Wait, let me update my bid. Holy shit, it's a real NFT? Stream idea, let your dad cut your hair. That's a terrible stream idea. Thank you for your terrible suggestion. Someone asked what happened with Actman and YouTube. I actually don't know. Does anyone... Is it easy to understand? I feel like I'm out of the loop. Actman was extremely nice to me. He gave me some content ideas and tips on how to format for YouTube. But I don't know shit about it. Charlie's got a video. Is anyone able to explain it in text in like 2 lines or no? I don't want to necessarily watch a full video right now because I'm going to do wins and fails here in just a minute. Actually, I have wins and fails. Make sure I got it open. Yeah. I'd like to time it so that Wednesday Fails is done like early 9, and then we go right into Marketing Monday. Okay. YouTube fucked him. Cringe reviewer Quantum mass flagged Actman for exposing Quantum shitty behavior. Is Quantum that guy from the Elden Ring bad takes video? Man, that was a really bad take. That was a great video by Actman. That was like a fantastic video. And he's really homophobic and racist. And YouTube sided with him. That's interesting. That's interesting. Any plans to play the new TFT State with Stance? Yeah, I'm going to play right after Marketing Monday, probably. I'm going to wind down tonight with a little TFT gambling with Stans. Sided with him in an insane way on an insane timeline. Great. Good to hear. That's crazy. Yeah, Actman was super nice. He reached out about a video he said he liked or something, and then I watched a bunch of his videos and liked them. And then he gave me some tips on how to format for YouTube and like how content works there versus Twitch. It was just great. He wrote a long answer to me, and like people could have easily been like, "Yeah, keep it up," or something stupid. So I got nothing but respect for the guy, and it feels kind of shitty. I also loved his Elden Ring takes video. So for that to be the reason he's getting fucking hit is crazy. Quantum TV also called Actman's mom and dug up a bunch of private info on him. He fucking Evan Gowed him? He fucking Evan Gowed him? Wait, maybe I should... Holy shit. Get Evan Gow to dox Quantum TV. You think I should get involved in this fucking terrible situation? And you think the best solution is for me to not take the moral high ground in any way, but actually actively dox someone who I'm getting mad at for doxing through Evan Gow? That doesn't seem like a good idea. It doesn't seem like a smart... That seems like I'm throwing myself to get involved in a bad way that doesn't help anyone and makes it worse for me. Two wrongs make an equal. Okay, 2 more minutes. 2 minutes and then we'll do wins and fails. Do I have all my shit? I have all my shit. Do I have all my shit? I think I do. I think I do. I think I do. I think I do. I think I have all my shit ready. The only thing I need to make sure that I have is this. This. Yep, I got it. I need that, and I need this. Yep. Yep, cock. This. How does this sound? Yeah, there it is. Okay, perfect. Cool. Atrioc, make sure to thank every sub but Ataros. Thank you, Ataro, for the sub. I'm not ignoring you on purpose. Thanage, thank you for the 8 months. Skeptical, thank you for the 4 months. Love the content you've been putting out recently. I have an interview tomorrow and feel really good about it. That's an interesting phrase because you said love the content you're putting out recently and you're feeling good about an interview. But the last time I did interview-based content was a year and a half ago. And everything I've done recently is balloons. So I hope that you're ready for your interview. I hope that you're gonna really, you know, pop the metaphorical balloon that's keeping you from success. But maybe you want to watch some of that older stuff to prepare. Or today. Lunar Honeymoon, thank you for the 2 months. Ataru, again, thank you. Real Crap, thank you for everything, obviously. All the stuff you've done for the stream. Real Crap, thank you for the 4 months. Stan Main, Cody Owned You, Torquad, Harry Truman, Vengeance L's Mine, and Buck Whiskey. Thank you. Okay, let's do it. Wins and fails, baby. Wins and fails. It's time for the first time in over a month to get back to a little marketing on this channel. A little bit of business news, a little bit of what's going on in the world. But of course, before we do that, I'm going to need you to do one thing for me. And that is tag yourself. Welcome to Marketing Monday on a Wednesday for June 8th. We got a bunch of stuff to get to, so let's jump right into it. Today, we'll start with the wins and fails of the past fucking 2-3 weeks. The past 2-3 weeks of wins and fails, starting with a very, very, very earned and, you know what, let's say long overdue win for a group of people that never seems to get a win in this country or in this world, and that is Rich Idiots. Rich Idiots have a huge win in the past week because there was the release of Diablo Immortal by Blizzard. A game that requires up to $110,000 to fully upgrade your character. And you know what? People who are extra rich and extra dumb have needed a sink like this. It just can't be a normal level of gacha. It really needs to be $110,000 plus. And you know what's great about it? Is that the first $10,000, I mean, I sort of looked at the thread on Reddit that originally reported this. The first 10,000 will get you like 80% of the way there. There is a single perk for basically 1% reduced incoming damage that costs $50,000 alone. A single perk. It is apparently cool perk though. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you might be the rich idiot I'm talking about. Yeah, I mean, if you based on the math of rolling for it, based on the odds of getting it and the math of rolling for it, it's $50,000 alone, which makes this one of the most pay-to-win games Blizzard has ever released by an order of magnitude. And the monetization on it is crazy. Apparently, to make a guild in the game, it costs you what, $12 to $20, and you can accidentally be dropped from it with no way to get your money back. If you join like in-game quest guilds with no warning. There's I mean, if you look at the Reddit for the game, let's see, Diablo. It's it's completely filled with stuff about the game being terrible monetization, half-ass monetization. Game's boring. Everyone's talking about pay to win, free to play, and pricing in general. You know, the game is being flopped. No, I'm not saying nobody's having fun. Of course, like every game, it has the random message where it's like, you know, having fun playing Diablo Immortal, not sure if good game or evil game. Or like, you know, don't hate me, but I actually like the game. It's got people like that, but overwhelming people are pretty pissed with the amount of monetization in the game. But Rich Idiots get a big win, so congrats for them. Now, it is a little odd that Blizzard has pivoted so hard into a gacha-based 5-star rolling pay-to-win MMO, mobile game, when they put out this commercial
Dad,
just a few years ago.
Dad, I'm getting wrecked. Can't I buy some stronger units? Your grandfather didn't give his life just so his grandson could pay money to be good at something.
Dad.
Interesting. Interesting commercial, Blizzard. And that was from, I think, 2017, only a few years ago. And now, all of a sudden, they've changed their ways. Kind of another marker in the remarkable decline of Blizzard. I don't think this game is giving them the fan resurgence they're hoping to get. But maybe it'll make them a lot of money. And they do need that as well. Speaking of corporations doing the right thing, I want to give a big win to companies that really believe in their employees, that take a chance on them, you know? That give them the opportunity to succeed even when they're starting from the bottom. And that's why I want to give another win to the company Bolt, which loaned its own employees thousands of dollars to buy Bolt stock, then fired them and the stock crashed. And then demanded those loans back. Wow. Really love that corporate responsibility. Yeah. Basically making money off of their own employees as loan sharks. They're a fintech startup, and this is like one of the greatest financial gamesmanship I've ever seen. What a genius strategy. Company level rug pull. Yeah, they laid off a third of the company all at once. They spent $1.5 billion to acquire a crypto startup right before. So they spent $1.5 billion to acquire a crypto startup, then fired everybody, then asked for the money back after encouraging their employees to take out loans to invest in their own stock. Pretty much the whole thing seems fraudulent. Hopefully they get in some kind of trouble for this, but yeah, it's basically a total disaster. Software programmer with a $100,000 loan said his options were about to go vest, was given two choices. He could sell the options back to Bolt or go through the purchase. Yeah, so looking pretty bad, but you know what? Big win to them, find out a new way to make money. Who cares about the morals? Speaking of dystopias, let's give one more win. A triple, opening with a triple win. We're returning to wins and fails with a triple win. And this one, this also ties into crypto startups. This one comes to what I think is the single greatest LinkedIn post I've ever seen. And that's a high bar, because you guys know the content on LinkedIn is so fire. It's never just buzzwordy trash. You know, it's always really, really good stuff. It's always like stuff that really is actionable. So I want to give a rare triple win here to Nicholas Vierk, who dropped this banger, Imagination of the Future, on LinkedIn. Let me read it for you, okay? The year is 2030. It's a rainy Saturday afternoon. You've just finished mining 30 obsidian ore playing Crypto Crush Saga, a match 3 mobile game. You open up the Elder Chains online and feel a rush of excitement. Your buddy from school has spent the last 2 years becoming a master blacksmith, and he's agreed to turn 10 obsidian ore into an obsidian battle staff, a huge upgrade over the mithril mace you've been wielding for the last few weeks. It'll take him an hour or so. In the meantime, you hop into Clash of Guilds and use the remaining obsidian to upgrade your town hall to the next level. That should keep your village safe for now. You wish you could fast forward time to tonight. Your guild has plans to go for a deep run in the wilderness in old school rune chains, and your prospects of a successful run and great loot have never been better. All members have been spending the past 2 weeks grinding for better weapons, and you've agreed through a vote to use the guild treasury and buy everyone a new full set of rune dragonhide armor. Tonight's objective is to kill the level 128 frost giant hiding in the Cave of Sorrow. He has a 5% chance of dropping an immaculate orb of brilliance, of which there are currently only 4 in existence. This orb can be used as a power source in the upcoming space exploration game and should give your guild a great advantage in reaching distant galaxies first. A 5% drop rate is low, but you're feeling optimistic. In the distance, you hear a faint, "Blockchain doesn't bring anything new to games." You shrug and join your friends in the Discord voice channel. Life is good. Hashtag blockchain gaming. I can't believe he just verbatim described what I think is the most horrific dystopia. The most horrific gaming dystopia I can imagine. And this was all a good thing. When I was reading this for the first time, I thought it was a joke. This is him describing his ideal future. This is the good future in blockchain. This is so fucking crazy. I mean, this is describing a world in which I'm spending every second of my day doing fucking mobile game tasks to try and earn items that I can transfer to other games so I can do more mobile game tasks. Where every one of my friends and family is fucking working in Elder Chains Online for subsistence incomes. This is wild. This is wild. And it is so powerful, and I can't wait. You know, I wasn't really a fan of blockchain gaming before this. But now that I can see the vision, see the future, that maybe I can get that red dragonhide armor or that rare orb of brilliance by beating a level 128 frost giant, I'm in. I'm in, dude. I'm in a major way, and I think we all should be in. So if you don't mind, let's go buy some crypto right after this stream and get in before it hits the moon. By the way, just to be a little more serious here for a second, not one of these games, not a single one of these games are going to do this. It's already been discussed to death in the world of the gaming industry. No gaming publisher is going to spend all of the time for their artists to create the assets in their game of everyone else's blockchain items. It's so much extra work and doesn't help them at all. You understand? Nobody's going to do it. It's not going to happen. But you know, I like the idea. I like the concept. Okay. So I thought that post was like dystopia rebranded. Let's get to an actual fail. And that fail is, how do I say this? Okay. When you look back on all of the recessions and even depressions in history, there is one indicator, one good leading indicator that could have been used to figure out if we were about to head into sort of a market downturn or crash. That was supposed to indicate that consumers were not ready to spend and things were about to take a big downturn. You guys know what it is? Can you have any guess that can give it away? That can sort of, somebody got it. The answer is what I'm calling the Make It Clap Index, aka strippers. By looking at the activity of strip clubs. And guess what? They're incredibly down. This is the fail. All strippers are noticing a marked loss in income. Strip clubs are suddenly very empty. There's no better indicator that inflation is up, incomes are down, savings are down. That people are not tossing money at strippers in clubs. The strip club is a leading indicator, and I can promise y'all we are in a recession. Now, there's other indicators. They mentioned this article. A mail carrier wrote it that there's a lack of volume in packages. But strip clubs are down 12%, and annual revenue is down in strip clubs. So a pretty interesting forward-looking indicator that people are not willing to spend. Consumer confidence is probably best tied to activity in strip clubs, and it is down. We got to help them out, boys. Rochelle. If you guys want to stop. So what that means is we can stop a recession by all going to strip clubs nonstop. As long as we keep the clubs full and we're tossing 10s, 20s, at least a 5, we can stop recessions. Holy shit, it's brilliant. Right. Well, you guys plan the strip club. Let me get a water real quick. Oh, wait, actually. Wait, it's still full. This is still full. Okay, so while I'm on the subject, let's get a little serious here. We are probably, almost certainly actually, I'm saying probably to be nice, heading into a recession environment. And the data is not looking good, okay? Basically, consumers are spending up a storm on credit. Savings rates have hit a multi-year low. People had large savings during COVID. During 2020, 2021, people actually put a lot of money into savings. All of that money is now gone. Savings are dried up. People have an incredibly low savings rate. And people spending on credit cards and debt is at multi-year highs. People are ramping up credit card usage, and they're also ramping up another form of debt. Debt rebranded that I've been talking about, which is called buy now, pay later. Now, I've done a lot of marketing Mondays talking about what a scam buy now, pay later is. But I want to give, you know how the enemy of my enemy is my friend? I don't like this. I don't like this announcement, but I'm going to give it a win because it is absolutely going to destroy Klarna and Afterpay. And that is Apple's announcement that they're getting into this business. Apple has announced Apple Pay Later, which is going to be the exact same thing as Klarna and Afterpay, but on every goddamn iPhone in the world. Which means a much bigger problem. But in the very short term, it's a win because I got to watch Klarna and Afterpay valuations tumble instantly. Like the second this was announced. I mean, they're planning layoffs right now, I'm sure. It's absolutely the death of those companies. But on the other flip side, this is going to be an even bigger problem. And I can't stress enough how much buy now, pay later is just a fancy way of saying debt. And is literally designed, I mean, as a business, you know, they say things like, okay, you can split this payment into 4 and there's no interest. There's no fees. There's no interest. There's no fees. It's basically free. Why wouldn't you do it? And it sounds good. And in your mind, you can always justify. You can be like, yeah, as long as I pay on time, there's no loss. It's amazing. But it's been proven again and again and again, psychologically, that when you use buy now, pay later services, you spend more than you would have. You buy more clothes, you buy more shoes, you buy more travel, you buy more whatever. You buy more than you think you can afford, than you can actually afford. Whenever you can split it into different payments. And when the payments actually come due, you realize, oh shit, I spent more than I probably should have. And if you ever miss a payment, that no fee stuff goes out the window. And they start throwing a ton of fees and charges your way. And it can become extremely high interest. So my recommendation is always to not use buy now, pay laters and just buy what you can at the time. There's never an opportunity for it to not be risky. Klarna has laid off 600 already. Yeah, Klarna's dead. I mean, Klarna and Afterpay are companies that only did this, and Apple is doing it as one part of a multi-trillion-dollar company and as a bigger install base. Apple's going to destroy them. Apple loan sharks about to break some kneecaps. Yeah. I mean, again, they put a friendly face on it, right? They talk again about zero fees, zero interest. But the fine print tells a different story. And actually, there's a great article here. The ugly economics about Apple's pay now later system. Basically, I mean, listen, think about it. Just think about it from a logical sense. They wouldn't do this if they couldn't make money. They're not in the business of just giving you a loan with no interest so you can buy things over time. You understand? Apple's not in that business. They didn't make this product, this banking-like product, because they thought it was a nice thing to do. The reason they're doing it is because they know a good percent of people will overspend, some percent of them will not be able to pay back immediately, and then they'll get fat margins on the interest. They're not looking out for the little guy here. It's just obvious. You just think about it like that. It's like, it's very obvious why they're doing this. And Apple only does things they think they can see massive multi-billion-dollar profits in because they're such a big company. Small things aren't even worth doing. So they actually see this as a big profit center. And a lot of what Apple's been doing lately is like, they're becoming more of less of a technology company and more of a bank. They have a credit card. They're doing a lot of things to like offer financial services to high-end customers. They already have an in into very wealthy customers' pockets. And they're just trying to offer financial service products. And, you know, loan sharking and debt to average people has always been a very profitable business. So they're getting it in a major way, and I think it's a win for about 5 minutes when they kill Klarna and Afterpay, and then it's a fail. And I hope that people move past it. That being said, they currently aren't. So I looked at the data, and it's incredibly popular with Gen Z. Gen Z, buy now, pay later is like huge growth rates. And the things they use it for most are clothing, travel, and home furniture and appliances. Things that they want to buy for moving in, which is the only one that even makes kind of any sense. Because we're poor. Yeah, no, listen, I get it. But I'm just saying, it's not free money. So if you're poor and you spend $1,000 that you don't have with buy now, pay later, you still have to pay. I think you're thinking of the buy now, the BN part, and not the PL part, which is the pay later, where you have to pay later. That's the part where they get you. That's the part where they get you. Okay, so win for them, I guess. Speaking of huge companies that are no longer fucking around, let's give a win to Sony. The console wars have gotten serious. Because they must have, because Sony should announce they're building new space lasers. So if you're an Xbox fan, I would get a titanium roof or sell your fucking console. I would watch out. I would watch the fuck out. Hey, wait 1 second. Hey, if you're spamming about Psychic, you're banned. Straight up. Mods, I swear to fucking God, get the fuck out of here. I don't want goddamn spammers when I'm doing Marketing Monday. Jesus Christ, dude. Anyway. So Sony's building space lasers. And, you know, I know they're going to be able to afford it. Because... I mean, we already know this, but I know they're going to be able to afford it because we all know that the Morbius re-release went so well. We know that after making trillions of dollars the first time, the Morbius... And then definitely understanding that it wasn't just a big joke at their expense, but truly a groundswell movement to support Morbius to the top of the charts. Sony really read internet culture super well there. They decided to re-release Morbius into 1,000 theaters, where it made an average of $82 per theater, which is like 4 tickets per theater. What I assume happened, though, is that Morbius made all of the money on Earth on its first viewing. You know what I'm saying? And this second time was like when you go to couch cushions for pennies. They got the last 80,000 that was left on Earth. You know what I'm saying? It's like a last sweep just to get the last little bit. So that's how they can afford the space lasers. Not because the movie's a gigantic flop. But what I thought was really funny was, I think I like this today. This also, I mean, this 82,000 bomb sort of calls into question the previously, solid pick that they were going to make a sequel called It's Morbin Time. I think that's less likely now that the re-release has gone so poorly. But we'll see how it does on streaming services. But I think the funniest thing that I saw was this, which was a change.org petition that says, "We were all busy that weekend. Please bring Morbius back to the theater a third time." And I think we should all sign it. Because honestly, I didn't know about the re-release. Of course I would have seen it. Sony, please, one more time, please. Just a few thousand theaters. That's all we need. We'll definitely go this time. We promise. Get Jared Leto to do a fucking nationwide tour at theaters. Please pull him out. Make him go nationwide tour. Make him do more social media posts that he doesn't understand. Come on, one more time. Bring it back. It'll work for sure. Scouts honor. You guys promise, right? We'll all be there. What's funny is I think a lot of people did actually end up seeing Morbius because of the meme, but entirely in Discord and like fucking Twitch and like Twitter. People just ripped the movie and posted everywhere, and then everyone kind of just saw it through osmosis. Nobody paid. So the meme did something for the viewership of the movie, but I don't think it's going to lead to a sequel. So anyway, that's a big win to Sony Pictures. Wow, great job on the re-release. Looking forward to number 3. Okay, is that my wins and fails? Oh, I have one more. Sorry, I have actually I have a couple more. Wait, I'm sorry, I have a couple more. Just need to make sure that I have them. I saw it through Eddie Burback's video. Well, I saw that video too, but I don't think he actually shows a full uncut version of Morbius in it. I don't remember that part. Oh. Wait, you know what? All right, this is not part of wins and fails. This is not part of wins and fails, and I should save this. But can we just do a quick break for 1 second to see the funniest clip that I've seen in a fucking year? You know what? This is a win, a fail, or whatever. Have you guys haven't seen this clip? I just put it in my notes to watch, and we have to watch it. This is the funniest clip I've seen in a fucking millennium. This is XQC playing Counter-Strike.
I think there's one in Z. Care. I'm sitting in the smoke.
I'm gonna molly him then.
Okay. I just got mollied. I think they mollied me. Where did your molly hit?
I didn't throw it yet. Want me to throw it?
Yeah. Okay, I'm blind. They just fucking threw a fucking perfect flash at me. These guys like know right where I'm at.
Oh, that's so fucking funny, dude. That's so fucking funny. I mean, you couldn't. I don't know. That's like a fucking hilarious clip. That's an all-time CS:GO moment. Literally missing the molly into missing the flash into shooting him in the head. All on accident. Oh, I mean, that's probably one of the best clips I've ever seen in my life. So I just thought I'd throw that in there. That's an easy win. It's a win to XQC for creating content that I will forever enjoy. I'll look back at that clip anytime I want to see. Okay. Oh, yeah, I wanted to do this. So I wanted to give a fail to the fucking fake news
Hershey's
television corporations for not allowing Mr. Beast to run his Hershey's Attack ad. I tried to run this as a national TV commercial, but apparently it's non-compliant.
This is a Hershey's bar. It has tons of ingredients and honestly doesn't taste that great. But this is my brand new Feastables bar that has half the ingredients, higher quality ingredients, and tastes amazing. And if you don't believe me, scan this QR code and try it for yourself. A little text at the bottom doesn't say anything. I just feel like every commercial has it, so I should. This is a Hershey's bar. It has tons.
He's coming for the big guys now. Holy shit. Mr. Beast out here attacking Hershey's. Taking on the big guys to sell his own chocolate bar, which, I don't know if it's actually better. What's funny is, so I looked into it because, a lot of people in the comments were like, oh, Megalol, Mr. Beast. You can't shit talk another brand directly like that, Lamau. Mr. Beast, you can't go bashing other companies. If you were a real Steve Jobs fan, he never made a point of never comparing Apple to other companies, Jimmy. Okay, well, first of all, I don't think you guys remember.
Hello, I'm a Mac. And I'm a PC.
I mean, they literally did. They literally did. All of these comments are wrong. You absolutely can do this. I confirmed it by going to the FTC's website, where it literally has a paragraph on comparative advertising. The thing that he probably didn't do in this, actually, let me see if I can pull it up just so I can show you guys. Yeah, here it is. Statement of policy regarding comparative advertising. The key excerpt would be here. You can not only mention other brands, you can even be disparaging. Disparaging advertising is permissible so long as it is truthful and not deceptive. So I don't think this is blocked by the FTC by any means. But if it was, it would be because they mentioned things like taste, where he said his tastes better. You can't be truthful on that. He can just say it has fewer ingredients. That's legal. And then he could say, it costs less. He could say whatever, but he can't say that it's objectively tastes better. That's not truthful. But you are totally allowed to mention other brands. So I think the reason he was blocked for being non-compliant is probably because the networks he wanted to run it on don't want to lose Hershey's business. If I had to guess, I would guess Hershey's. They figured out a reason to block it just because they could lose, that's a threat from Hershey's. You're not allowed to lie. Well, I mean, you can lie in advertisements basically in a lot of ways, but in direct comparisons, you can't lie. You can't say that you're just, that you cost half the price of your competitor when you don't. So anyway, I think it was mostly their fear of losing a Hershey's account than actually any problem with the ad. The ad is, as far as I know, if not fine, close to fine. Yeah, you could run a small study. You could do a taste study. You could do actually taste test and then say it. But I don't think he did that. So, you can't say something that's verifiably untrue. Yeah, that's exactly right. So anyway, interesting. But I just wanted to let you know that the comments on that were all dead wrong, and Mr. Beast theoretically could run that ad or something close to it. But either way, posting it on Twitter and saying it got denied is probably even better. You can save the spend and still get millions of views, and then everyone feels like they're even more on your side. So again, Mr. Beast kind of playing the game pretty well for free. And this is happening a lot. I mean, again, there's the same thing happening right now with Logan Paul and KSI's brand Prime, where they're basically making a viral ad campaign against Gatorade. And all this is doing is like setting up for either a major acquisition by Hershey's and Gatorade, who want to get rid of these annoying, nagging competitors who are kind of like leapfrogging them on digital media. So it's interesting. But all I know is that influencers are getting scary for these big legacy brands because they used to be able to control them or ignore them, and now they can't. And it's starting to become a real problem at the larger scale. And then finally, I'm going to end wins and fails because this has been a good one with our fucking, I shouldn't say fucking, with our news segment. You know it, you love it. It is, of course, our coverage of China. What's up, Beijing?
What's up, Beijing?
Thank you, Xi.
What's up, Beijing?
We're going to find out what's up in Beijing with our wins and fails in China. I'm going to do a brief one. There's only one major, it was going to be a win if I did the Marketing Monday on Monday. It is now a fail, but I'll say it like it's a win. There is a technology company called ARM that makes chips. They make chips. And if you, okay, so, not like Lay's. No, like the microchips. And if you guys don't know, I'm trying to explain this really briefly. Basically, it's very hard for most companies to do business in China unless they give a large cut of what they're doing to China. China does not allow foreign businesses to just exist and make money. That is just the way they operate. For example, just the biggest example of this would be like Disney, okay? So for Disney to open Shanghai Disneyland, they don't actually even own that. Shanghai Disneyland is 53% owned by a Chinese company and 47% owned by Disney. over half of Shanghai Disneyland is not owned by Disney. Okay? They literally do not allow, foreign-owned companies to have a majority stake. So, when ARM, this technology company, wanted to do business in China, they had to create a separate entity called ARM China that had its own CEO, its own board of directors, but it still like reported it back up into ARM. It was part of ARM, but it was a separate Chinese-based company. That was their way to get around it. Well, one day they wanted to fire the CEO of ARM China, and he said no. He said no and refused to leave. And so when they said, okay, but you're using our name. We're ARM. This is our company. He said, no, we're separate. It's my company. And they had basically a 2-year battle to try and kick him out. And then finally, a few days ago, they announced they'd finally removed him. They finally found a way. They found an agreement with China that were going to get rid of him and put a new CEO. Until like literally 2 days ago, they realized that he said no again. And in fact, doubled down and is basically holding a mutiny with the employees of that company, refusing to work, and got like the papers or something that give him a right to own the business. And so he's literally not leaving. And so he's basically gone from an employee to like an owner of his own company just by saying no over and over again. And they can't really physically remove him. They don't know how to get rid of him. Yeah, he has a company stamp that signs all the papers. He's got some kind of paperwork thing. But, yeah, his name's Alan Wu, and he's refused to step down. And those loyal to him still control ARM China websites and social media. So, yeah, in late April, this is what I was going to report on. It appeared that they were victorious, and they had him ousted. They were close to recapturing their rogue Chinese branch. But it turns out he's still got some fight. So it's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I think they sent a new CEO to replace him. And when the guy got there, the old CEO fired him and said, no, it's still mine. It's just a crazy world. I mean, the world of Chinese companies and economics is totally foreign and operates under entirely different rules. And so in my What's Up Beijing update, I just want to give you an update on that. But that's the end of wins and fails. Boom! Done! Beijing win. Let's see how Alan Wu handles it. Now, we get into the actual thing we haven't done in months. A real Marketing Monday. Holy mo... Imagine firing your replacement. Yeah, no, it's crazy. It hasn't been months. It's probably been like 3 weeks. Maybe 1 month. Maybe. The actual Marketing Monday. Wow, on a Wednesday too. The best day for it. Let me... Okay. Got this. Okay. I need you guys all to close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Eyes closed. Listen. Keep your ears open, eyes closed. Okay? Oh. You know that sound. Today's Marketing Monday is about the streaming wars. Specifically, what the hell is going on with Netflix? Wait, I need this. You can open your eyes. Thank you to Avernell for this amazing art. This godlike art that I had commissioned to cover the streaming wars. Let me see you guys. Look at this. So let me set the stage here for a second. The year is 2022. The streaming wars are in a brand new, bloodier era as of a few weeks ago, with an uncertain and expensive future. The undisputed streaming king of the past decade, Netflix, is finally bleeding. And everyone else, from Prime Video to HBO Max, Disney Plus, and even Peacock, is sharpening their swords and coming for the crown. What the hell happened? What changed? Why is Netflix losing? How did the untouchable Netflix finally come down to earth? Let's break it down in today's Marketing Monday. Welcome to Marketing Monday. We're going to talk about Netflix. You guys know Netflix, right? You guys heard of this little company called Netflix. Maybe give you a quick brief history. Used to be a DVD rental company in the early 2000s. They just sent DVDs by mail to you until one day in 2007, they decided to do this. Allow you to watch movies online. They had a Watch Now button. They had a little bit of an online streaming component. And this quickly became bigger than their regular DVD business. Even though back then, you could only watch it in like 480p and it always lagged. But OGs do remember in 2007, they jumped into this. And this was going really well. In fact, nobody else in the world understood how important online streaming would become, so they let all of their content go to Netflix for basically free. Shows like Friends, shows like Seinfeld, shows like The Office were all on Netflix at once, even though Netflix didn't make them. And this allowed them to get many years of amazing growth. Until around 2010 and 11. And that's when everyone started to realize, oh shit, we shouldn't give Netflix this stuff for so cheap. And they started pulling all their movies and TVs off the platform. And that's when Netflix Chief Content Officer Ted Sarandos had this iconic quote. I referenced this quote a bunch of times. It's an amazing quote. It's one of the best business quotes that I've heard. In 2011, he realized we need to become HBO faster than HBO can become us. And what this quote actually meant was we need to make original content like HBO does before a company like HBO learns how to do online streaming. Because we can do streaming, but we don't do content. And they can do content, but they can't do streaming. He wasn't just talking about HBO. He's talking about Disney and everyone else. Everyone that makes content is going to figure out streaming eventually. We had to figure out how to do content before they do. So, this is a brilliant quote. And this led to him becoming co-CEO. He wasn't CEO at the time. He actually used to be a video store clerk. This guy worked for like Hollywood Video. That's how he started his career. And now he's co-CEO of Netflix. It was a great quote. So in 2011, they realized as everyone's pulling their stuff out, they have to make their own stuff. And they started to make this, a show called House of Cards, which launched, I think, in 2012. This is the first original content from Netflix. Now, I'm going to cover up Kevin Spacey because he's lame. But it was a remarkable success. It was an entirely bingeable, fully released show created by a streaming service. The first time this has ever happened. And this led to massive growth for Netflix. They were way ahead of the game. And for almost 10 years, they have had uninterrupted growth. From 2012 to 2022, they have grown every single quarter. And because it worked so well, again in 2012 when they first launched the show, they outspent everyone else. This is a chart of how much everyone spends on creating content. You'll notice Netflix's line is way above everybody else. By 2020, they were spending $17.3 billion on TV shows and movies. Their nearest competitor was Prime Video, spending $7 billion. Okay, they're spending more than almost everyone else combined on shows and movies. They were way ahead of the game. They made shows like Squid Game. Everyone knows Squid Game. They made movies like Don't Look Up, which had hundreds of millions of views. They made Stranger Things, a massive global phenomenon, huge success. They even got so far ahead that in early 2022, they greenlit a show about Blockbuster owners. That's how far ahead they are of their former rival Blockbuster. They've killed Blockbuster so long ago that they rubbed it in by making a show about Blockbuster owners. Their lead's insurmountable, okay? And then a few weeks ago, this happened. Kind of out of the blue. And this looks like one of those stock graphs you see in cartoons. This is an absurd drop. This is an absurd drop. In a very short period of time, Netflix has gone from a company worth $305 billion, one of the largest 25 companies on planet Earth, to now around 70 to 80 billion, which is a 73% decrease. And they are no longer in FANG, which is a list of the top 5 technology companies, basically. They're no longer in this, and they're no longer even in the top 150 companies on Earth, let alone top 100. They're not 154. So they have dropped dramatically in a very, very short period of time. And so you might be asking, I mean, these are really big numbers I'm talking about. When I say 300 billion to 80 billion, it still sounds big, right? You can't really understand the scale of what I'm saying. I think our brains sometimes tune out when they hear big numbers. So to put it in context, I created this. Basically, in the time that I've been playing Elden Ring, since the game came out and I kept playing, I'm still playing my first playthrough of Elden Ring. In that time period, Netflix has lost the combined value of all of Starbucks, the entire company of Starbucks, all of Uber, the entire company of Uber, all of Nintendo, the entire company of Nintendo, all of KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut, all of the net worth of LeBron James, and then top it off, another $1 billion. This is how much Netflix has fallen in a few weeks. And you might be asking, why? What went wrong? How did this happen? That's what we're going to cover today. I'm going to explain the 2 key reasons that are leading to Netflix's current woes and trouble. I'm going to explain what they're trying to do to combat it, whether it'll work. And then at the end of this presentation, I'm going to tell you who's winning. I'm going to tell you who's actually winning the streaming wars and where it seems to be headed. Okay? So let's jump into it. What went wrong? This is what went wrong. I need to, actually, let's get chat out of the way. This is what went wrong. This is Netflix's subscriber growth per quarter. You might notice they've never had a bad quarter until just now. For every quarter since 2012, they've grown subscribers every single quarter, 4 times a year. It always goes up. And they've said, we are on track for 1 billion subscribers. We're going to get 1 billion. We're going to be the first 1 billion subscribers. Unfortunately, at right about 225 million, it looks like they might have topped out. They reported a loss, a 200,000 subscriber loss. Now it's a minor loss, but it's the top of the curve that's scary. And instead of being on their way to 1 billion, it looks like they might be stalling out at 200 million, which is a way different story. So alarm bells immediately go off. Wait, one second. This is live Netflix headquarters. This is live what Wall Street heard. So yeah, that's what Wall Street heard, and they immediately started dumping the stock because the stock had been valued as if it was an extremely high growth company. And the second they started to say, not only are we losing subscribers now, but we're on track to lose more next quarter, that scared the shit out of Wall Street. And they started dumping the stock like crazy, which caused it to lose 75% of the value, even though they only lost like 0.5% of their subscribers. It's not like I think what I've seen people say online is they thought Netflix had lost 75% of its subscribers. That's not the case. Netflix is still the biggest streamer. Not by a ton, but they're still the biggest. But the fact that the growth ended is what's scary. So people who have been with Netflix for years were starting to change. So, and what was worse was that the subscribers that were leaving were not just new subscribers who often have a pretty high rate of churn who join and leave. In fact, Netflix customers canceling service increasingly includes long-term subscribers. So people who have been with Netflix for a very long time were finally deciding they had enough. Enough was enough. And they were leaving. And that was extra bad. Because they had been paying month after month after month, like almost like a bill. Again, if you look back at some of my older Marketing Mondays, I mentioned that Netflix had a way lower churn rate than almost all their competitors. People treated Netflix like a bill. Like you pay the electricity bill, you pay the water bill, and you pay the Netflix. It's just not a choice. Everything else, they would kind of dip in, dip out. Netflix no longer has that luxury. They kept raising prices, and some of the content, the quality of their content has changed. And so people are increasingly dropping them. This guy, again, you can see here, Netflix is losing more long-term subscribers. People are spending less time with the service. They're not being 3-year, 4-year viewers. They're being like a few month viewers. This guy Breezy kind of summed it up. Netflix removed the good shows and increased the prices. Now they want to add ads. It's like they want us to cancel our membership. And it got 100,000 likes. And this is one of those accounts that only posts like shit everyone agrees with so they can get a ton of likes. It's like a fake content farm. So you know everyone agrees with this. Because it's not a real person. It's like they only post this shit if they know everyone's going to love it. And that means the sentiment around this is pretty popular. So, that's reason one. Reason one is that the growth is slowing. People are starting to leave the company, unsubscribe. And so that's what's causing their massive drop in stock price. The second thing that's causing this needs to go back a bit. So, if you flash back even 1 year, Netflix, when they were riding high, everything was going great. They were $600 a share. They were saying this: our competition isn't Disney Plus. It isn't Prime Video. It's TikTok, Fortnite, and sleep. We are so important. We're fighting for every hour of our customers' day. The only thing that gets in our way is when they play video games, when they sleep, or when they're on TikTok. That's our real competition. And then all of these guys said, no, we're your real competition, and started stepping up their spending in a major way. And this year, they had to admit streaming competition is actually eating into their growth. This stuff was not their problem because people did this stuff and watch streamers. Instead, people are literally unsubscribing for Netflix to go to Disney Plus or to go to Prime Video or to go to HBO Max or to go to Hulu. Like their real competition is woken up. They're here in a major way and they are outbidding Netflix for shows. They are spending just as much as Netflix and they are basically providing value propositions that are just as good as Netflix, which is making them no longer seem like an untouchable king. This is a chart that shows this. This is content spending at all of their competition. You'll notice Netflix is not the biggest on this chart. They used to be. In that first chart I showed you, they were the biggest. Now Disney and Warner Bros., which is HBO Max, is spending more. And projected, look, this goes through 2025, projected to spend even more. Disney's going to spend nearly $25 billion by 2025, and Netflix is not. And so that advantage they had is kind of disappearing. Let me actually set this up real quick. What's important is, how do I say this? So all of these companies, Disney, Amazon, Apple, look at how fast Apple's is growing, by the way. Look at how fast Apple is rising up in their spend. All of these companies have something Netflix doesn't have, which is content is not their main business. When Netflix spends $20 billion on shows, they have to make $20 billion plus on you watching those shows. If Amazon spends $20 billion on shows, they don't give a shit because they can make the money back from you just being a Prime user for longer. If Apple spends $20 billion on shows, they don't give a shit because they can make the money back on you being part of the Apple ecosystem and buying iPhones. iPhones are a great business. iPhones cost a certain amount to make and sell for 60% more. So these companies are using what are much better businesses to subsidize cheap content streaming. They're basically spending money on content without caring that it does well. Netflix has to care. So they can never justifiably spend just as much as Disney or Amazon or Apple. And that's very scary. And that's what's causing Wall Street to finally wake up and realize that competition is real for Netflix and cut their stock price. those are the two main reasons they're kind of tanking, right? Competition is up and people are unsubscribing. What are they going to do about it? That's what I wanted to know. What are they, because this is their first bad quarter. They're freaking out. They have a ton of highly paid employees. They've got massive offices. They've had this legacy success. They got 2 CEOs, double than everyone else. What are they going to do? So they have a couple things that they've announced they're going to do. Some of them are cringe. Some of them seem good. And some of them are downright weird. Let's talk about them. First off, the bad. They're laying people off. They have to cut costs because they have to make money on content. If they're going to spend $20 billion on content, they have to make a profit. So the first thing they've done is laying people off. They already announced layoffs of about 2% of their workforce. They fired about 150 to 200 people. You can see that here. They basically said, our slowing revenue growth means we have to slow our cost growth as a company. So that's what they're doing. They're doing layoffs, okay? And they can't cut content spending or they'll fall behind these guys. So the only thing they can do is cut employee spending. So layoffs, that's the cringe. It's always a mistake for a company. Layoffs are always a sign of mismanagement. Pretty much always, because it means you just misunderstood where your market was, you overhired, and now you have to let them go. It's a bad look, and it's pretty much never good. This is a good tweet. It's amazing that Netflix is firing a ton of people instead of lowering their prices. They'd get more subscribers if it wasn't $20 a month. Apple TV is $5 and lapping them in episodic storytelling. Now, I don't agree with this tweet at all. I think this tweet is kind of naive on the business realities. But what's funny about it is that from a consumer point of view, they don't care. And the fact is that Apple TV can charge $4.99 because they don't care if they make a profit. Netflix has to make a profit, so they have to charge $20 a month. And at the end of the day, if you're a customer, the cheaper one is where you're going to go with if it feels like it's close. And so that's what's scary for Netflix is they have to find a way to make not only more shows because they can't outspend, but kind of better. They have to be able to make better shows. The second thing they're doing is going back on their word. This is a tweet from Netflix in 2017 where they said, love is sharing a password. Where they imply, this is back when Netflix had less competition and they were on a huge growth swing and they didn't seem to care. Yeah, share a password. You know what? We're not picky. We're not stingy. We're not the other guys. Okay? As long as you're enjoying Netflix, that's fine for us. We just want the shows to be in everyone's household. As long as you're talking about Stranger Things, that's a good thing. Nowadays, you try to share a password, you start getting this pop-up. If you don't live with the owner of this account, you need your own account to keep watching. Yeah, they're locking down on password sharing hard, and it's ramping up more and more this year. They've announced to Wall Street that one of their best ways to get subscriber growth, they think, is cracking down on password sharing. They estimate that a third of America, literally a third of America, uses a borrowed Netflix password. That's their estimate. It's probably a little high because they want to promise to Wall Street. But it sounds not crazily far off. People do use it. So they're hoping that those people will all subscribe to Netflix if they can't borrow passwords. What may happen instead is everyone gets angry and unsubscribes altogether. It remains to be seen. But those are the two major cringe things. The next thing they're doing, well, actually, they'd never do this, right? I'm sorry. I must be misreading my notes. I must be misreading because I remember their CEO saying they will never have commercials. I remember this. I remember this article. This is only in 2020 after all. It wasn't that long ago. The Netflix boss said they will never have commercials. So I must be misreading my notes when they announced ads are reportedly coming to Netflix as soon as late 2022. Oh, interesting. Well, they have to get subscribers up and they have to get revenue up. Now, this is an ad-supported option. If you pay the full price, you won't get ads. But they think there's a large cohort of people that would be happy to watch ads as long as they get the service for cheaper. And they may be right. From a business POV, this is not crazy. After all, Hulu does it. Hulu has an ad-supported plan, and this is their most popular. In fact, over half of all Hulu subscriptions are ad-supported. People seem to be okay with it. At the end of the day, they're okay with it. Even though Netflix has said for many years that ads are bad, that they're not about ads, that they're different because they don't think ads is part of their experience. End of the day, some percentage of people don't care. Some percentage of people don't care. So they looked at Hulu and realized they have to get involved. So those are like the main business things they're doing to try and turn their ship around. Whether they'll be successful remains to be seen. They're also trying some weird stuff. Is there sound? There's no sound. This is Netflix's gaming option. All of these games are being played with a remote on Netflix. They're hoping to get involved in a kind of like mini mobile gaming way and hoping this will increase subscriber retention. Like if you got nothing to watch on Netflix, you'll not unsubscribe because you want to play terrible mobile games. I think this idea is one of their worst. This seems like a huge waste of money and time, and I doubt it will convince even one person to stay with Netflix who wouldn't have. Maybe it's for keeping some kids around, but it just doesn't seem like important enough or worth the time and effort when they could spend it on more and better shows and content. But it's interesting, okay? Outside of that, if we want to go even weirder, they're getting into basically what Disney's really good at, which is merchandising. Only they're doing it like this. These are called the Chilies, which are their new mascots they want to sell merch for. They're called the Chilies because of Netflix and chill. I've already purchased one. The red one, whose name is Scarlet. Okay? Wow, they play chess. Scarlet! So that's something else they're trying to get into. You know, it's the first foray into their shopping experience. They're also making merch for some of their popular shows, but this is the top of their shop, so I thought it was worth pointing out. This is Scarlet. You can get it for $25, a steal for something that can give you guaranteed nightmares if you have boring dreams. You can get Scarlet, Robin, Dusty, or Sunny. Also, now this is an idea that might be actually good. I've shown you some cringe. I've shown you some bad. What might be interesting, they're getting into live streaming. Specifically, at least at first, around comedy specials. Now, they're not going to live streaming like to get Ninja, like a new Mixer 2.0. They're adding in a way for maybe you to be able to watch a live comedy show from your Netflix account, which is interesting. You could do that with music events. You could do that with plays. You could do that with a lot of things. No, it's not Netflix Ninja. It's not like they're... No, it's more like they're just ability to watch something that's a live event through Netflix. It's an interesting idea. I think comedy shows are a good first pass at it. Although at the end of the day, I kind of like watching edited comedy specials on Netflix anyway. I don't know why it'd be better to do it live. Again, all of this stuff, when you look at it in aggregate, kind of feels like Netflix is floundering. You know? They've sort of are a little rudderless They're kind of like reaching out in all directions, trying to find some kind of solution. But I think this one's interesting. I think this one has potential, and maybe they could work it. It also makes more sense with their system than something like gaming. They're definitely soul searching for a solution after being successful for so long. Again, for years, they've been sort of ignoring any underlying problems because they've been growing so much. And now that that's changed, they're kind of like looking for answers. And then most importantly, they have to figure out the following question. Now, let me go back real quick. I'm sorry to rewind a million slides, but this slide's really important. This one right here. Because it shows that they can't just outspend their competitors anymore. Everyone else is rich. In fact, they're more rich than Netflix. Netflix is an $80 billion company. Amazon is a multi-trillion-dollar company. Apple's a $3 trillion company. Netflix cannot outspend anyone. So if they want to remain top dog, they have to find a way to do more with less. They have to make shows that are higher impact. They can't just have more shows. And so to do that, they're announcing a bunch of drastic changes to the type of projects they greenlight. This is the announcement. They're going to stop greenlighting expensive vanity projects like The Irishman. Basically, they're not going to give Martin Scorsese a blank check and say, make whatever you want as long as it's on Netflix. They're not doing that anymore. They're not just going to go to the most famous people they can find, give them infinite money, and make a show. They are going to have to be smarter with what they create and how much they spend. So they looked at the data, and I looked at the data as well. And it turns out this might be bad news if you're a fan of like critically acclaimed stuff on Netflix. Because this chart shows the most watched Netflix films. And you'll notice the actual best performing thing on here is Red Notice. Red Notice, which got a 36% on the tomatometer. But it turns out that dumb, fun movies, you know, the audience loves them. And that's all that really matters. It turns out that Netflix's goal, which for many years has been like a pride point to sort of win more Emmys than established Hollywood media, doesn't matter. It turns out that they just need to make money. And so they need broad, highly popular, easy watch entertainment that you can almost put on while you're like browsing your phone. And so that is their new direction. They want more Red Notices. They want more movies like that. In fact, people who have been in meetings with Netflix all over Hollywood have noticed that one show name keeps popping up over and over again. And I bet you cannot guess it. Think of a Netflix show that they want to do. They want everything to be more like. Can you guess? What's a Netflix show that they would like think is a perfect success story? Queen's Gambit, Squid Game, Stranger Things, Space Force, Gossip Girl, Arrested Development? No. The answer? Emily in Paris. In every meeting Netflix has been having with talent for the past month, they've been saying, can we get a show that's more like Emily in Paris? This is their North Star. They are being tasked with finding more shows that are like this. This is their perfect success story. Because it turns out Emily in Paris is relatively cheap to create, highly bingeable. The audience loves it and makes memes about it. Critics don't watch and don't care. And most importantly, it hits a niche that they have been calling, or has been called, ambient TV. I don't have a slide anymore, but ambient TV is the idea that it's a show that you can kind of just have on. You could be browsing your phone. You can be doing chores. You can sort of half pay attention. Ambient TV. They want more of that. Background noise TV. Is sort of Netflix's go-to strategy for getting broad hits that are highly good use of their money spend. So, we've seen what Netflix plans to do. That's their strategy for remaining on top of this hill, for remaining king of the streaming kingdom. But who do we actually think is going to win? If we look at everything that is happening right now today, who is the winner of the streaming wars? Who's actually set up for success? Is it Disney Plus? Maybe. Disney Plus has many advantages over Netflix. They're spending more than Netflix. They can make way more money on successful properties. They're very good at merchandising. If they make a hit show or movie, they can make billions off of toys, theme parks, plays. Again, kids, especially, are not price sensitive. Kids don't care what it costs. If this kid wants to see Frozen 3, she will cry until her parents sign up for Disney Plus if it's exclusive. You know what I'm saying? Elsa has power. Disney has some of the biggest IP. They have extensive experience getting monetization. That being said, even with all of that, Disney has some of the same problems as Netflix. Disney Plus is costing Disney a fortune. Because when you release movies and shows direct to Disney Plus, you lose all the money you would have made from either selling DVDs, selling them streaming services, going to movie theaters. It actually costs you a lot of money that you would. I mean, Disney used to make an absolute fortune selling Marvel shows to Netflix. Now they don't do that. All that money's gone, and they're not growing subscribers at a fast enough rate for the spending on content. So it's a scary future. They still have the same problems. They're a little bit better at it than Netflix, but it's still a problem. It doesn't really solve the bigger issue, which is that content is not a great business. It's kind of a bad business. So maybe that leaves Prime Video. Amazon Plus has the great benefit of having infinite money. They have Jeff Bezos' wallet. They don't care. And they've used that to great success. They have a larger library size. They have a larger library size than everyone else basically combined. There are more movies and TV shows on Prime Video than everyone else because they've spent nearly infinite money. In fact, this quote was quite revealing. Money, by the standards of any other studio in the history of television, was no issue. Amazon just had to find the right project. This is from an insider leak about the process of how they spent $1 billion on Lord of the Rings. And again, that's one of the largest rights acquisitions in the history of TV. Amazon spent $1 billion to make a Lord of the Rings show because Jeff Bezos said, we need a Game of Thrones. We need our own hit. And money didn't matter. They also spent nearly $1 billion on Wheel of Time, which has so far been basically a flop. It just hasn't done that well. It's done all right. It's done, actually, it's picked up a little bit. Oh, we're back? We're back. Sorry, we're back. Yeah, they spent a lot on Wheel of Time, and they spent a lot on Lord of the Rings. So they spend a ton of money. They, in fact, spent $8.5 billion buying MGM to get the rights to the Bond movies. They don't care. Their problem is, first of all, kind of a lackluster UI and discovery system. They don't have great algorithms to recommend movies and shows to people. They just have a raw dump. And they haven't proven to be very good with originals. They haven't been able to make smash hit originals. They can spend a ton of money. They can buy stuff. But they haven't been proven better than their competitors at working with talent to actually create great originals. So they have some downsides too. They're not really necessarily the guaranteed winner. The Boys is great. Don't get me wrong. I love The Boys. I'm just saying, on the whole, The Boys hasn't reached the heights of the success of a Stranger Things, a Bridgerton, a Euphoria, all of those, Squid Game, all of those shows have been smash hits. Game of Thrones, smash hit. Those shows have done amazingly well. The Boys has done good. And there's a difference. You know what I'm saying? So that's Amazon's biggest weakness. So maybe, speaking of Euphoria, maybe the winner is going to be HBO Max. HBO Max has done amazingly. I would have counted out HBO Max a few years ago, absolutely, because they're just so much smaller. But in fact, they've bulked up quite a bit. The Discovery HBO merger and combination has created a pretty robust lineup. I mean, they have Rick and Morty, for Christ's sakes. They've got Pickle Rick episode. They've got to be the best. They've had an ability to create. They've basically paired the huge lineup of Discovery, which is of their larger brand, They have Friends, which was formerly the #1 show on Netflix before they took it back. They've got, they got Game of Thrones. They have tons of they have The Wire. They have, a ton of things. They've basically married a broad base of bingeable content with the high-end, like, premier prestige stuff that HBO makes. And HBO has consistently, year over year, managed to make shows people talk about. Euphoria is a smash hit. People talk about it every single new episode. It trends on Twitter. And it doesn't even cost them that much to make. Game of Thrones was a smash hit. They have Barry. They have a ton of things. So they're making a ton of smash hits. So HBO has proven to be pretty good at both sides of the equation. And they've done this, which was kind of the new thing. They had Project Popcorn, which was their internal code name for their plan to release big movies the same day they're in theaters on HBO Max. And so they got Dune, they got The Matrix, they got King Kong. They got a bunch of things absolutely day one on HBO Max. And this has been huge for subscribers. They've had massive growth from this. It was very successful. And so I compared them, because I'm a Game of Thrones nerd, to Tyrion Lannister, which is this quote: "A small man can cast a very large shadow." HBO has not spent nearly as much as everybody else, but they've got the reach and the exposure and the success of a much larger company. It's been actually quite impressive. Speaking of Game of Thrones, I want to very briefly compare every single character in Game of Thrones to one person in the streaming war. Blockbuster's the Mad King. Netflix is Robert Baratheon. Apple TV's the Tyrells. Jeff Bezos is, of course, Tywin Lannister. HBO Max is Tyrion Lannister. Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus are the Starks. Peacock is those stupid characters, the Sand Snakes from season 5. Really, really annoying. Just to be a super Game of Thrones nerd, I had to put this back in because it's very important to me. This had to be. By the way, I'll take no questions. This is 100% correct. I will take no questions. This is 100% accurate. But you may notice. I talked about HBO Max. I've talked about Netflix. I've talked about Apple TV. You may notice, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, there is one character missing. Does anyone notice that there's like a major character missing from this chart? Kind of a really, really important, major, powerful character. Where's Daenerys? Where's Daenerys and her dragon? Who is the Queen of Dragons? Who's the most powerful person in the whole show? Ladies and gentlemen, the real winner of the streaming wars is YouTube. YouTube. When I looked at all of the data, when I studied this whole industry top to bottom, what I started to realize was the numbers that these streaming services are pulling in are not that good for what they cost. And so I looked at the numbers for YouTube. And what did I find? Well, look, for 2019, this is YouTube's ad revenue versus Netflix's total revenue. So this is the money YouTube makes just on ads. In 2019, again, red is Netflix. 2019, YouTube made $3 billion. Netflix made $4.5 billion. So Netflix made 50% more. All right. In 2019, that number changed a little bit. By 2020, again, YouTube was up to $3.8 billion. Netflix 6 billion. So they're both growing. But YouTube got a little bit closer. By 2021, up to $6 billion from YouTube ad revenue and $7.2 billion from Netflix revenue. A little bit closer. By 2021, the end of it, by late last year, when Netflix was at its all-time high, doing amazing, they were making $7.5 billion, and YouTube was making $7.2 billion. And then, just now, in the most recent quarterly report, YouTube smashed them. They smashed them. $8.6 billion. So YouTube is now making more money just from ads on YouTube videos than Netflix's 200 million paying subscribers. And I want to ask you a question. How much do you think that YouTube spends on content? Netflix spends $20 billion a year. How much does YouTube spend to make these kind of revenues? Nothing. They spend nothing. Zero. Essentially zero. So while Netflix might spend $27 million to hire actors, hire a director, build sets, and film a show like Squid Game, and that's cheap. $27 million is incredibly cheap. YouTube gets Mr. Beast to do it. Mr. Beast fronts all the costs. Mr. Beast does all the work, all the hiring, all the spending. He makes the content himself, and YouTube gets a cut of the ad revenue. They get half. They get half. So while Ludwig does mogul money and Mr. Beast does this and Cutie puts the streaming awards on YouTube, all the stuff, all of the content costs have been offloaded to the creators. And YouTube just gets a cut of all of the ad revenue. So it's a business that has basically zero marginal costs and massively growing revenues. And when you look at numbers like that, and by the way, Netflix is the biggest of all the streamers for this, so everyone else is even smaller in comparison, you realize that Netflix is absolutely roasting YouTube is absolutely roasting the competition. YouTube is roasting the competition. No one else is coming close. Further data also proves this. So they did a survey of 13 to 24-year-olds and found out that 67% of them said they could not live without YouTube, while only half said that about Netflix. On the right is a K-pop interview where they interviewed the stars of a K-pop group called A-Pink and asked them if they could only watch one thing for the rest of their life, would it be YouTube or Netflix? All of the stars said YouTube. All of them said YouTube. So if you look at the youth, if you look at the way things are trending, people are more invested in YouTube. They spend longer on YouTube. And they're finding content that's more appealing to them on YouTube. And it's all free to Google. Google gets all this stuff for free and just gets to farm it for money. It's an infinitely better business. I think a perfect example of this is a channel like Summoning Salt. Because Netflix would never greenlight a show like Summoning Salt. The idea is they want to make something broad and kind of dumb that'll appeal to everybody. But on YouTube, because the costs are so different, you can make micro niche content that appeals to just a certain brand of people very hard, very well. And you have infinite amount of people doing this. This is how you can always find something interesting to you. Summoning Salt would be very boring to my dad, for example. But it's very interesting to me. So instead of Netflix trying to find a broad show they can spend millions of dollars on that appeals to us both to save money, YouTube can just have different YouTubers for each person and make money on all of them. And that is why they are the big dog in the room. That is why they are winning the streaming wars. And that is why, instead of looking at this and subscribing to this, perhaps you should subscribe to this. Maybe check me out. Maybe subscribe over here, baby. Thank you for watching Marketing Monday. Woo! Yeah, I don't know. I hope you enjoyed. That was really interesting. And I think a lot of the stuff that I first thought in I did a Streaming Wars Marketing Monday many months ago. But a lot of the stuff was kind of, I learned a lot. I learned a lot more. And I think I like this one so much better. Hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed. Again, we'll be back next week. If you have any bad mobile game ads, that's next week's Marketing Monday. Please submit on the Discord. I'd love to see them. We're going to review them and make fun of them and basically just cringe at them and watch them. So bad mobile game ads are the next Marketing Monday. Tune them in. That'll be on Monday. We're back on schedule, at least for 1 week. We'll see how it goes. And that's that. Oh, and if you want to invest in any one of these companies, in any one of these companies, if you think you learned something from this and you want to get involved in the market, or maybe you just want to buy stock in Google because you realize that owning YouTube is going to be a competitive advantage for many, many years, perhaps consider heading to public.com/Atrioc. Public is a sponsor of, dude, I keep getting this intro. Public is a stock trading app, actually, you can, basically an investing app. It is similar to the more famous one you probably know, but for me, it has proven infinitely superior. It has a clean, easy to use interface. I use it every morning to check my stocks. It has access to tons of like news and articles and opinion pieces about stocks, about things you're reading. I learn a lot from it. You can also follow different investors on the app and see what they're trading to kind of learn their habits or what they're into, or they even have update posts on why and what they're doing. And most importantly, it does not sell your data to hedge funds. And this has been verified by many independent authorities. So you can go and check it out. The business model of the largest competitor that you may know on trading apps does do that. That's their main way of making revenue. Public doesn't do that. Public actually makes their money by uninvested money that's in the accounts. It just invests it, any excess money that's sitting around. So it's a much more ethical business model. I'm happy to recommend them, happy to use them. And if you sign up using this page, you can get up to $300 in a free stock. And people have gotten free shares of Meta, free shares of Apple, plenty of smaller companies as well, but up to $300, you can get a free share, which is pretty awesome. So if you like that or want to learn more, check it out. I also say one more thing is that you can invest fractional shares. So if you want to buy, for example, a share of Google is like $1,000. If you want to buy just a fraction of a share for $20, you can do that, and it'll go up and down at the same rate. So you can invest whatever you're comfortable with. It's got a pretty cool system. They have no fees, nothing else. So it's all pretty ethical, above board, and cool. Check them out. Thanks again to Public for sponsoring Marketing Monday consistently, week after week. Appreciate them. That's it for me. I've been talking nonstop for a few hours. Now I'm going to play TFT, I think, with my dogs. Can you get Berkshire Hathaway? You can. You can put $1 in Berkshire Hathaway if you want to. You're playing with Scara? No, this is not the Scara. So Scara and Frodan and Avali and Box. We're still organizing this event, but we need to get a few more people. This is with Stans and some other friends. This is just like a fun. We're just gonna do a drink and bet some money. So this is not tonight. Tonight it's chocolate bars might be good. We're trying to find. I think we need 2 more. We need 2 more people that like TFT but aren't sweaty tryhards, which is actually kind of hard. Stans, we have Stans as well, but where has Stan's been? He's been in Cancun. So if you have, does Germa play TFT? Chris Yee could be fun. Toast could be good. I wanted K3 Soju, but Frodan was worried he's too sweaty. He's gonna like just completely own us, which I don't really care, right? I mean, I'm not trying to make money off of it. Ludwig has never played TFT. You wouldn't be able to do it. Wolfie could be good. I think Soju would be fun. I think Soju would be great. I'll ask him. As long as he plays fun comps and stuff, who cares? But anyway, that's the end of Marketing Monday for tonight. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I appreciate everyone who tuned in and listened. I am going to play TFT now. There's a brand new set. I love TFT. If you guys don't know, I play it off stream, or at least I used to, more than any other game. Now it's balloons. And I got Grandmaster in the earlier seasons, and now I just chill in Diamond and play. But I played on Stan's stream all the time, but I never played on my stream. I love TFT. And so there's a brand new set today with apparently some big dragons and cool shit. So I'm going to try it out with my dogs. Let's see if I can find. Now, these guys all like to talk shit. So if you hear them talking shit on me, just know they all don't mean it. And they all think I'm very, very cool. And it's an elaborate joke. Where is this Discord? Is this it? No. Here it is. Okay.
I'm tilting
Yo!
chasing this fucking 3-star card.
Yo.
Kill me.
Do you guys have room or you still have max 8? Is there a slot opening up?
We're at max 8 right now, but if someone drops out.
Okay, hit me up. All right, sweet.
I probably only have one more in me after this one. You can have my spot.
Sitting
David,
here,
no one leaves.
just waiting, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just on the outside with the window, facing the glass, looking in at you guys by the fire.
How was Marketing Wednesday?
It was good.
Like you're like, I might be a little late. And Stans is like, he started his stream 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, well, the problem was I was set to start at
Wow.
7:30, and then I started at 8:30. I actually would have been done right on time.
Ryan!
Brandon Ewing.
What's up, Taffo?
Have you seen my marketing pitch for Marketing Mondays? Well, I'll literally create the presentation notes for you.
I have not, but that sounds like easy clap. No work for me.
About like the endless cycle of TOing events.
No shot. I'm not going to do that. That's not going to fly on YouTube. I saw Aiden's video. That's cringe. Dude. I'm not watching TOing videos.
No, it's just like why what was Nintendo incentivized by?
If we can call it Nintendo sucks in some way and make that the thumbnail, then maybe I'm in. But I'm I don't want to do Smash TOs. But I'll do. I mean, if we can do it. That'd be fun. I'm down.
Yeah, it's more just like ecosystem of why like Nintendo's incentivized to like support esports or not support esports rather.
Basically, Nintendo being cringe around esports. That is a good. Yeah, I like that. Coney said you better not. Why? You worried, Coney? Let me get out of here. You guys are still playing. Look, hey, message me. I'll be ready.
All right.
I'm Devin. Coney, what's up? What the fuck is TOing? That's what I'm worried about, bro. I'm worried about talking about TOing. No one's going to fucking watch. TOing is tournament organizing. What did Coney say? Nintendo are very nice friends. True. I forgot Nintendo are very sweet. Nintendo, nice guys. Well, everyone wants me to react to Hassan React. I think that'd be so boring, me reacting to a React. Especially if it's a full video. That doesn't seem... Coney, if they have you at gunpoint, please blink. I mean, I want to play TFT, but they might be waiting for me to... They're going to end their game. I hope somebody drops. What did... I got a message that tonight's gonna be a good night.